Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, this is the moment everybody been waiting for, which is to hear Edogg's side of the story based on what happened when the Whoop Man FYB J-Main tried to come to OBlock for the second time and push peace. Now, like they say, it's three sides to every story: yours, mine, and then the actual truth. So since we seen the video go viral of FYB J-Main getting kicked out of OBlock, we've only had J-Main's side of the story on what took place. However, Edogg immediately did an interview with DJU and expressed his side of the story, and he also revealed a lot of information that we didn't even know in the first place. One of them happens to be the fact that he claims he was the one that invited J-Main to OBlock in the first place, and one of the reasons why he's seen and react like that when he's seen J-Main is because he was supposed to talk to him, and J-Main totally disregarded him and went to Ike Munna to talk about pushing peace when that wasn't the plan. He also felt that that wasn't a conversation that should have been had with Ike Munna because Ike is younger and wasn't around when the drill culture was at its peak, and J-Main was dissing some of their deceased members. Now, on top of all that, he also revealed that despite everyone saying that he was the negative one and only want to keep the war between the GDs and BDs going, DJU admitted that before J-Main even had plans on going to OBlock, Edogg tried to get DJU to convince FYB J-Main to have a sit down with them behind the scenes so they could talk about their differences. So for whatever reason, it never happened, and now we ended up seeing things go left when J-Main decided to go to OBlock for the second time. So I want to speak on a few things Edogg revealed and also mention what we've been mentioning in the past few videos based on this situation. Everyone's not going to be receptive to pushing peace for their own reasons. I'm sure it may be a time where they might decide to eventually, but until they do, they're not ready to have a sit down with their ops due to everything that transpired in the past. I've stated previously that I agree with both sides and understand where both sides are coming from, so I'm neutral when it comes to this topic. We're going to get into what Edogg had to say, but before we do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm, and if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. Now, I'm going to leave a link pinned in the comments for you guys to go check out the whole interview, but right now we're just going to highlight the main parts of it where he spoke on the situation that transpired. Edogg also made it clear that he was pushing positivity and not peace. His explanation behind that is that in order to push peace, you have to be into it with someone, and he's not into it with no one. So pushing peace is usually correlated to end wars. So he says he's pushing positivity more so because it's the lifestyle, especially knowing where he came from. Now, what I got from that when he was referencing J-Main is that Edogg feels you can't push peace if you was never at war. Right? Let me say that again. You can't push peace if you was never at war. This come into play with J-Main because even he himself admitted that he was dissing people he barely knew, and he was just dissing only because he was trying to make some money off it. And I think that's one of the main reasons why J-Main catches flack for pushing peace, because some of the guys feel like he was never really into it with anyone, so it isn't that impactful opposed to someone who was really into that lifestyle. Now also, if y'all remember when the pushing peace movement first started, I also said that a lot of guys was just pushing negativity before because it was paying. So who's to say now guys aren't doing the same thing where they're pushing peace or trying to push peace basically now because it's the opposite and it's paying, right? Now when it comes to the interview as a whole that Edogg did with DJU, I like how Edogg handled some of the questions that DJU was throwing his way. There were certain questions I expected Edogg to react a certain way, and he did the total opposite. He handled the questions correctly, and you could tell that Edogg knows how to conduct himself during the interview, where the interviewer can't just get him to say something controversial for views. DJU mentioned Lil Durk co-signing J-Main, and instead of Edogg saying anything negative, he simply replied that he don't know anything about that because he's there to speak on what he got going on within himself, which was a very mature way to handle a question like that, whereas some people will go off and say something about either J-Mane or Lil Durk. However, I could say that when DJU mentioned Durk, Edogg face kind of lit up. That's another story. Now, interesting enough, when DJU asked him about the incident, Edogg said the same exact thing we said in our previous video. If you pushing peace, why is he going to OBlock with armed security? I know someone is going to say, well, J-Mane just moving smart, he's moving with security because you never know. Well, that's just the thing. Because having armed security going around there says that you don't really trust the situation to begin with. Because clearly, you aren't comfortable enough to go there by yourself or with your guys. Instead, you hire an armed security guard to go with you because you don't feel it's safe enough to go without him. And this goes back to the post we made on our Instagram when we asked the people, does J-Mane actually trust OBlock if he's going there with an armed security guard? And honestly, that alone can make someone feel away because you're bringing armed security into their comfort zone. And not just that, some people just may take it offensive. It just is what it is. Now, when Edogg interrupted the interview with Ike Munna and J-Mane, he kept mentioning what J-Mane did on DJU when he claimed to have ran into Edogg before at the barbershop and caught him lacking. Apparently, Edogg wasn't feeling J-Mane telling the world that he caught him lacking and acted like he had a weapon and allegedly made Edogg get into his car and drive off. According to Edogg, it was a false story, and even though something like that may be funny and entertaining to some, clearly Edogg didn't like it. And y'all gotta understand, Edogg one of the originals when it comes to the drill culture, and the difference between him and J-Mane is that he really been through it. Really had real ops, really had friends that lost their life to the drill culture, so he may take it a little more serious than J-Mane because J-Mane ain't go through what he went through. It's blood that's been shed for real, so when you go and tell the world that you caught someone lacking, of course they're gonna take it personal. Because on the flip side of that, the next question becomes, so what was you gonna do to me? Basically take my life, right? So some people take that very serious. Some of these guys got PTSD. It just goes a different way. Telling the world we saw each other and you pump faked and acted like you had a weapon and I hurry up and drove off, that'll make anybody mad. Because some people just ain't playing. Especially in a place like Chicago where he know guys don't play about their reputation and their image. But this all goes back to what Edogg was saying during the interview where he mentioned that J-Mane want to play and be tough at the same time, and it don't work like that. Now, speaking of playing, Edogg also revealed that the video went viral, and afterwards, J-Mane DM'd him and told Edogg that he was the one that invited him, but basically flipped on him. He also stated that J-Mane tried to send him a collab post on Instagram, in which would have looked weird if Edogg was to accept it, and we seen both of them collabing on a post. Everything would have looked like it was staged, but once again, this goes back to everybody not wanting to play internet content games when it comes to real life situations. Which I'm sure J-Mane knows it's a time and place for everything, but sometimes a lot of guys put content first. In a nutshell, Edogg's biggest pet peeve with J-Mane was two things. He came to OBlock with armed security, and when he came, he didn't speak to any of the guys who were affiliated with anyone that he dissed in order to really show that he's pushing peace. The J-Moneys, the Ketas, the King Vons, the Fredos, people who were really affiliated or close with them would have been more impactful for J-Mane to do an interview with when it came to pushing peace. Ike and Shoebox Baby are in the younger generation, so speaking to them wouldn't be as meaningful as speaking to some of the original guys. So Edogg had an idea in which he stated if J-Mane wanted to fix things, he want J-Mane to apologize to everybody's mother that he dissed. He'll give him a list of the names of the people he dissed, in which I'm sure he already know who they are, and then he wants him to read the names as he apologizes to every last one of their mothers. In fact, what do y'all think about that? Go in the comments and let us know if y'all think that'd be a good idea for J-Mane to do in honors of pushing peace. Right? Now, shout out to Gleesh too, because he was there and he acted cordial. He didn't spaz out like Edogg, but he's definitely someone who it would have been more impactful or substantial for J-Mane to be speaking to because Gleesh was around. And if you watch the video, you could tell at first, Gleesh wasn't really going to acknowledge J-Mane until the Muslim brother Sadiq kind of broke the ice by telling Gleesh that they pushing peace and out of respect, acknowledge each other. Right? But aside from that, I'll leave a link in the comments for y'all to check out the interview that Edogg just did with DJU. Y'all jump in the comments, let us know what y'all think about the whole situation as a whole. and how you feel about Edogg and what he had to say in reference to the situation. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. I'm out.